Good afternoon, or good morning, or good evening, wherever the hell you are. It doesn't really matter. Welcome to the Life Podcast Show. On today's show, we are talking about Star Wars: The Clone Wars. I do believe the trailer dropped this week. We are talking about Picard and his return to the Star Trek world. Well, Patrick Stewart's return to the Star Trek world with Picard, to be more precise. We are talking about the postponement of Obi-Wan and what that means. Captain Marvel 2 pre-production news. The Witcher is going animated. Ooh. And Hulu cancels another bunch of Marvel projects. And with that being said, let me introduce you to my panel of esteemed morons. I am, of course, Dick Shadow, as you can see from the background. And in the rest, I have Christine, I have Zam, and an elitist bastard joining me. And we are going to start off with Picard, I believe. And I'm going to take this one straight to Jason. Did you seen it?
Yeah, I've read about it and I've seen clips of it. So, I mean, I've got the idea. I really like the direction they're going with this. I mean, it seems like a natural progression for the Star Trek universe. The only thing I'm not so hot on is the fact that they're doing the trope where it's like, oh, now Starfleet is turning into an evil corporation type thing, and it's just like, you know, like they're doing things that Picard doesn't agree with. And although they did hint at that in Insurrection, I mean, I think it goes against Gene Roddenberry's original vision of Star Trek. However, as a show in and of itself, I feel like it's a good premise. But really the only thing that I have an issue with is that it does kind of go against the Gene Roddenberry model of, but maybe that's good. I don't know. I'm going to wait and see how things progress. And it's always nice to see Jean-Luc back, and I can't wait to see some of the other cast coming back. Next Gen wasn't my favorite show, but Jean-Luc Picard is definitely one of my favorite captains. So I'm glad that the show is circled around him, because if it was just like another, like the Next Gen crew getting back together and one last hurrah or whatever, then I would like it a lot less. But since it's kind of just like it's based on Picard and he's and he's kind of working with this, group of people, and it involves, the past with Data, because they kind of left that wide open at the end of Next Gen and Nemesis and all the movies, is that, the relationship between Picard and Data really didn't get, I mean, it got some closure, but not enough for me. So that's it.
All right. Christine?
I liked it, overall speaking. Well, of course, it's a big part of it is, of course, nostalgia, because TNG was, it's the only Star Trek I'm really into, honestly. And I love Patrick Stewart. I like the premise of it. I actually I don't think the Starfleet is going evil corporation necessarily. It's, just, I think it's pretty much natural when certain events are happening that usually even an intergalactic government would take certain steps. Now, I think it's a bit excessive what they have decided to do in this one, with banning synthetics and whatnot. That reminds me a bit of Fallout, by the way. But overall, I liked it. I want to see how things will go with the Borg. I want to see more old crew members rejoining or cameoing, if that's a word. But yeah, I like it. What I was iffy about is with Data. I mean, couldn't they CGI him into his young face? So it makes sense for an android who doesn't age. That was a bit nitpicky, but
Yeah, it looked stupid.
Yeah, he looked really bad, and I mean, of course, his skin is aged, so the makeup of the skin tone looked ridiculous.
Yeah.
They should have CGI'd that shit out.
Yeah, they could have easily done that. But budget, depends on their budget. Though the budget for this looked quite good.
Well, and also they're bringing on Whoopi Goldberg for next season, so I'm pretty sure
We're gonna talk about it later.
Oh,
yeah.
I was just going to say their budget had to have been upped. I'm just saying, like, to get Whoopi Goldberg on there is.
Thing is, it's positive that they've already talked about season 2. That means that we can have some expectations for this show. Well, I do have expectations, but to be honest with you, I would be easily satisfied with it because I just like Picard.
Fair enough.
He's my favorite. He's the best.
Zam? Sorry, Christine.
No, it's fine.
I just
wondering if they were gonna bring Worf too. I'd like to see Worf. Anyway, Zam.
Yeah.
All right, so pretty much Christine wants the entire Next Generation crew back. I don't know how to feel about this show just yet. Watching it initially, I agree with you regarding Data. He looked fucking ridiculous. I couldn't help but notice he's got this big bulge on one side of his face, and I found it very distracting. I couldn't help but notice it, and I don't know where they're going with all of this. Is time travel going to play a part? Data had already created a daughter once before, and why do they have to make him twins now? And yeah, it's all a bit weird. I'm glad they showed you before. Yeah, which was
maybe they were making triplets just because there's always a margin of error, so only 2 survive. That's the dark side. No, I'm just bullshitting you.
But so yeah, I just to you see this fucking Borg cube at the end getting fucking reorganized and shit. I mean, I don't know what the fuck's going on at the moment. It's all a bit mystical and mythical. But it's sci-fi. It's a bit weird, mythical and all this shit. But it's it's like, why is this happening in this? It just, like Data, a robot from 30 years ago. And I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, I just.
It's not a robot. It's an android.
Whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't fucking get it. Yeah.
You didn't.
Wait.
Christine, please chill the fuck out. Yeah. I just hope eventually things will start making sense, because right now it's a confusing bag of what the fuck's going on. But I do like how it's directed, the look of it, the cinematic of it. It's way different to Next Generation. I thought initially it would be more like that in look and scope, but it feels much more grander. And it'll be. I've already seen bits of what will be happening in future episodes, so we are going to be getting some people back for sure. And I just hope things start to make a bit more sense. Because what's upsetting me with just some shows in general, they're confusing as fuck. And I just not with Star Trek, please. One good thing about Star Trek, with all the sci-fi mumbo jumbo, a lot of it always makes fucking sense. And I hope this show fucking makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't blown away with the first episode, but it's the first episode. It's fine. It's just establishing itself. The premise itself, all right, tried and tested, very tropey, done before, but whatever. I think the nostalgia factor is going to play a big part in this. I agree with you, Zan. The cinematics were really fucking good. Seriously, it felt like a film at times. What we was looking at. It was great seeing Picard back. It was great seeing Data back, even though Data looked stupid as fuck. Again, the minute that android blew up, I was just like, oh god, here we go. I bet there's going to be another one.
Yeah, this was
yeah. Well, it took literally. See, the biggest issue I have with Star Trek right now is Kurtzman, and there's another guy, the two producers. They just treat the audience like idiots, and in this show, everything was answered within a few minutes. It's there was no mystery left apart from that ending bit, which will probably get answered in the next one. And you already know that guy's a bad guy. He's up to no good. It's leaves some kind of suspension there for us. But that part, it really kind of like, when I first saw the trailer for this and everything, I was really excited. But then when I found out who was producing it, now I'm very apprehensive going forward. But I hope they do a good job with it. Like the concept of Picard teaming up with a ragtag bunch of people to go and get this girl. Ragtag things are my thing. I do love that kind of shit. Random people just banding together to do something. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. So yeah, let's see where the future goes with that. And moving on from there,
one thing though, on what you just said, because that's the thing I always felt with Star Trek, that the episodes were always too easily resolved. Let's say, like some issue that at the beginning of an episode seems complex, but they have to finish it within the confines of the episode. So
yeah.
They dumb it down so much that by the end of it, it was that simple and that's done. That was always the case with Star Trek. That's the only issue I ever had with Star Trek. I was like, okay, you need to do it in 3 episodes, do it in 3 episodes. I'll wait, But
Yeah,
they don't.
We do get double episodes sometimes,
Yeah.
But it's episodic television, Chris. That's what you're going to get.
Well,
It's not serialized, it's episodic.
But you don't really need to have every episode be self-contained. I mean, just leave some cliffhangers. It's fun.
Things do get passed on, in future episodes. They do come back to things like Moriarty and all of these other things, like when Kes came back as well, and then there was one episode in season 6 of Voyager where different parts of the Voyager spaceship had different time zones, so they were going back to different parts of different episodes from previous seasons, and all of so stuff does come back, but overall it's episodic, and with reminders here and there and everywhere.
Anyway, I think I want to play the clip where he invites Whoopi. Just I'm gonna change my mic real quick so you can have sound.
Yeah, no worries.
Excuse me.
Shit. Give me a sec.
If that's okay.
Yeah, please.
I'm here with a formal invitation, and it's for you, Whoopi.
For me.
Alex Kurtzman, who is the senior executive producer of Star Trek Picard, and all of his colleagues, of which I am one, want to invite you into the 2nd season.
I'll tell you this, mate. Guinan would have aged drastically in 20 years. Drastically.
That's great, Whoopi. Oh, she has to get rid of that hair on her head, though, right? Tell her that.
She can do it.
That's pretty good. Boy, the jobs are coming to you now, huh? Yeah.
Okay.
So many offers she's getting lately.
Really?
Yes.
Look at that smile.
I just said to him, does she have to take the hair thing off? And he said she can do whatever she wants.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Anyway,
yeah, that's fine.
we don't need to watch the whole 4 minutes of it. I mean, we get the
No.
idea. I mean, I'm up for it. I mean, she hasn't changed that much at all.
She's changed considerably, dude.
Dude, she doesn't have a single wrinkle on her face. It's
Dude,
Just go
They
wider
show-
like the rest of us. That's fine.
They show a picture of Jean-Luc Picard and Guinan on the Enterprise, and Whoopi Goldberg looks nothing like that anymore. And the funny thing is, is that she was also the Guinan character was in Generations, looking the same as she did 70 years later in the film Generations when it catches up with Picard's era, and now she looks like this after 20 years. It's going to be interesting how they.
I don't think she looks all that different. I mean, she might have gained a bit of weight, but she doesn't look that different.
Yeah, she ain't not that much
She
different.
does.
No, I mean,
She does.
and let's be
She
real.
does.
I mean, we have to kind of suspend the we have to suspend it for reality a little bit. I mean, yeah, we know she doesn't live forever, like in real life, like you know.
I know. No, I
Hey,
agree
if
with you
it
there,
gets her off
Roberto.
of you, then that's fine.
I
Take
agree,
Megan
but I just can't
McCammon
help
there
but
and
think
put her as
this.
a pig on. So.
Oh,
Oh,
fuck.
Whoopi Goldberg is coming back in season 2. The chat is stumped.
Yeah.
For some fucking
yeah.
reason. Jesus
I
Christ.
forgot to put the banners today. What's wrong
Fuck
with
the banner. It makes us too small.
me?
Well, hopefully we'll get to
I
understand her
will not
species more.
comment on that. I will not. I will not. I'm
Hold over
not
here.
falling into that trap. Anyway,
Roberto, you never told me, was Guinan the only alien of her species we saw on Star Trek in all types of Star Trek?
No, we in Star Trek Generations, Dr. What's his face, who was played by what's his face.
Roddy
Hold on.
McDowell's character was the same. Oh yeah, he
Wow.
was. Yeah,
Such
he was. He was the
accuracy.
same. Yeah.
Laser point accuracy.
And he got desperate.
yeah.
I
He got
mean, the
desperate for
degree
killing.
of accuracy
Roddy
of
McDowell
your
got desperate for
description is
killing
like,
Kirk.
There we go. That's it. All right. Are we moving on?
Yeah.
Which one do you want to do?
Let's just get Clone Wars out of the way.
Okay, then let me load the fucking trailage, because I got that shit ready to go. Ish. There-ish.
Now,
That's gonna be without
I
the music,
personally am
though,
not-
'cause, yeah.
I'm not a fan of the previous Clone Wars, but for once, I'm actually looking forward to this particular season because it's the final season of Clone Wars, and it'll tie into Revenge of the Sith.
I don't care either way. Not my thing.
There are certain bits I want to point out to you. We'll see in this trailer, because some of Clone Wars is going to happen during the same period as Revenge of the Sith, because the Clone Wars only end once Darth Vader kills the Separatists.
I really don't like the art style of the animation.
Yeah, that's what I never
So
liked.
we'll see the Great Purge as well in this as well. I hope we'll see
It's
the Great
like-
Purge.
It's too
There'll be no purge in here. There
cartoony.
was no purge before Revenge of the Sith.
With the Mandalorian Great Purge, that's why there were not so many of them.
Oh, the Mandalorian one, yeah.
Jason, you're not talking.
Hold on, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I was updating the title. Because I forgot about this one.
Look,
Oh
look,
fuck! I forgot to
look at
add
that
the
bit there.
titles. Shit.
So I mean, I've never fully watched Clone Wars. What I've seen, I like. I agree with you guys that, well, I mean, the animation style I can take or leave. But at the same time, it doesn't hurt it enough for me not to like it. But my big thing has always just been, you know, that 5 or 6 or 7, however many seasons of Clone Wars takes place. Like, how many years was in between episode 2 and 3? Like 3 years.
2
You know
years.
what I mean? Like,
3 years, 2 years.
yeah. So I mean, can all of this take place in between the 2 movies? Yes, I guess. But it always kind of was like, wow, that's a long time and there's a lot going on in order to fit in between those 2 movies.
A lot of shit.
I have a question.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Are the Sith the bad guys?
Yes.
What? Yeah.
Because I
these
don't know,
dark
man. They
planets,
look
yeah, I guess
cooler.
they are.
They look cooler.
They are cooler.
There was a part in this trailer, yeah, where Mace Windu and a few other people are around that table, and Mace Windu goes, "I sense a plot to destroy the Jedi." And some of the people around that table are holographic displays, and you see it from their perspective. You know, that you see Mace Windu as a holographic display around the table, and Yoda as a holographic display around the table. And that scene from Revenge of the Sith is played out in an episode of Clone Wars from the perspective of the holographic people when you see them, and it's going to be really interesting to see all the tie-ins.
That's
I think
cool.
Yeah. You know, you're going to see. It's interesting to see all the ties because, like I said, some of the episodes will be happening during the course of Revenge of the Sith itself. So it's going to be interesting to see how they tie all this shit in, and I'm looking forward to it because they need to tie all this stuff into Revenge of the Sith. Because if they don't, then what's the point of all this bollocks? And
I mean, honestly,
this end.
I mean, honestly, I don't mind. Like, I don't mind them, doing the first half of the season before Revenge of the Sith, and then the second half of the season, after, during Revenge of the Sith. Because, I mean, we can follow Maul, we can follow Ahsoka. You know, we can, like you said, we can have different perspectives on, what's going on during Revenge of the Sith. Like, so what if, let's say, what if the battle between Obi-Wan and Anakin is going on while the final fight between Maul and Ahsoka is happening. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's what's going to happen. That's probably going to happen. They're going to be in a different part of the galaxy. But yeah, that's probably what's going to happen for sure. But I want to know first of all, how the fuck does Maul get away from Sidious? Because when they cancelled Clone Wars, after Disney bought them initially, Sidious had killed Maul's brother and taken control of Maul, had him prisoner. So you didn't know what happened. So how the fuck did Maul escape? I want to know all of these things.
Yeah.
So yeah. And I was a big critic of Clone Wars, but with this tie into Revenge of the Sith, it's got me interested. I want to see how they do it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Next month, yeah, can't wait. About you guys,
cool.
No one else?
No,
you're not.
No, I'm not going to be watching it.
I haven't seen the whole previous seasons, so
yeah.
Likewise, there's a lot of shit I haven't watched from here. It matters because this is where it really matters. There's so many episodes of Clone Wars you don't even need to watch to see a tie-in to Revenge of the Sith, but this being the final season, obviously the times will be there.
Yeah. All right. Keep it with Star Wars. Yeah. Keep it with Star Wars. We're moving on to the Obi-Wan series. It's been postponed because the producer is not happy with the script. I mean, when is this fucking producer ever happy with anything? Here we go again with more problems with the Star Wars fucking franchise because the producer's not fucking happy. This producer who has not seen the results of all our other fucking projects. Anyway, they're saying that similarities to The Mandalorian. And it's like, well, you've had 2 fucking years to fix this. And only now when you're about to start production, do you come across and see that there's similarities with the script, the premise. This is just getting fucking ridiculous. I don't know. Outside of Warner Brothers, this is the only other studio I know with this many problems with one individual that just can't fucking make it their mind.
They're like lying politicians. They promise you one thing and you get something else. It really upsets me, man.
It's fucking ridiculous. Okay, it's this. The thing with me is this is why I hate producers. They're just accountants with no talent, and they always cause more fucking trouble than they're worth. And here you can see it. So I'm not surprised. Mandalorian didn't have any problems. It just went straight. They were like, okay, this is the premise. This is it. All right, let's go. And they started shooting straight away. But Obi-Wan has problems. But I'll take it to you guys. Yeah, go on, Jason.
Are you sure? Okay. I mean, I can see where they probably have the similarities, but that's why you have to choose your content correctly. Like
Yep.
you go from a Western, like a Firefly-esque space Western, like, you know, with the Mandalorian, with obviously a better budget, but then you go to Obi-Wan, who technically, with all intents and purposes, should be set on Tatooine. You kind of have a similar theme there, you know, like you have a similar tone. So it's like they really should have picked their tones better, I kind of think they should have gone with the Andor Cassian show, even though I don't think it should be about Andor Cassian. I think it should be about something completely original, but with that mindset in mind, because then you can like focus on the rebels and space stuff and all, instead of it just being based on one person. It's more based on like the rebellion. You totally change the tone, you know, and that's what they need. I mean, duh, Obi-Wan's going to be, you know, because you're focusing on Obi-Wan, you're focusing on, you know, just on, you know, on Tatooine, and it's just like the Mandalorian. Well, duh. Maybe you should have a little bit more forward thinking and think about, hey, we need to keep the tone changing. Maybe we can get to Obi-Wan eventually, but we want to make sure it's different from the, you know, this is what DC Universe did that's very well. A lot of our content that came out was very diverse when it first came out. Titans looked different than Young Justice. Young Justice looked different than Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol looked way different than everything else. You know,
Yeah, but hang on. But you're asking a Disney-owned product to be different from other Disney products. That doesn't happen in Disney.
Yeah,
All
well,
their
you're right
products are
about
the
that.
same.
You're right about that. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, you're right. I mean, there are so many at Lucasfilms. There are so many issues that it just. You're right. It's getting ridiculous, and it's like, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the idea of an Obi-Wan show, only because. What are they going to do? I mean, if he leaves Tatooine, then it's it's an Arrow situation. Oh, I was on the island for 5 years, but yet he's going to Hong Kong and Russia. So that's really all I have to say about that. But what are we looking at?
Just got to go plug myself into the router. I think my bandwidth has taken a beating.
All right. Well, Zam, what do you think? I mean, we can just. I'm done.
I don't mind having an Obi-Wan movie, but everything about this production prior to even the announcement of the delay left a sour taste in my mouth, because when I found out it was going to be set 8 years, you know, into his time in Tatooine, I thought to myself, that's just a cop-out. You know, that's just a cop-out of not being able to write anything of any significance. So you put it in a period of time where it's way after Revenge of the Sith and way before New Hope. And I didn't like any of that. Upset that there is a delay, but hopefully, you know, trying to take positives from this, hopefully it's for the better. I really do. Because honestly, what they were going to offer us, if it was going to be like The Mandalorian, then yeah, they should delay it. And I do agree with James. They should have known better. They should have known about this years a fucking go. But probably they had to watch The Mandalorian come out before they realized how similar it was going to be. Who knows? But yeah, I just have a bad feeling that this show is not going to be as good as we want it so badly. It was a bit like Indiana Jones 4. We wanted it so badly, and when we finally get it, it ends up being such a disappointment. And I really have a bad feeling that this Obi-Wan show might be that, with the way they, you know, with the ideas they're coming up with, like 8 years. I really don't like that. It should be either at the beginning or near the end, or maybe just a whole fucking period of his time there, but not just a fucking portion in the middle, which will offer you nothing. It's not about his whole period there. It should be about his whole fucking time there.
So you're saying it should be more of
Sorry, but I'm straying regarding Kathleen Kennedy. I don't know. I mean, she's just done it again, hasn't she? But you know what? In this particular case, I'm actually glad she's done it. You know, because but it's just that she should have fucking known better earlier on. That's all I'm saying. This bitch needs to go.
Okay, I guess, Christine, do you?
Yeah, what?
I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on Obi-Wan series?
The same opinion I have about everything Star Wars.
It
needs to die.
You must die.
So yeah, let's move on
All right,
to
moving on.
which one do you want to talk about? Captain Marvel.
Yeah, Captain Marvel.
I've heard nothing about it.
Me neither.
What's this?
Jason,
This is
Sam,
new to me.
whoever?
Okay, well,
have no-
Captain Marvel hired the screenwriter for, and I don't remember what it was for, but I mean, they're starting pre-production. I don't know. You guys are asking for ideas for topics, and I just started throwing them out there. Well, I mean, maybe we should more talk about what we want from Captain Marvel 2, so it's kind of different from the first one. And I don't know. I mean, they got the screenwriter. What show? It was either the screenwriter for Mandalorian or was the screenwriter for, I don't know. I thought it was something Star Wars, but
I really hope it's not anyone from Star Wars, because Jesus fucking Christ, the dialogue even in the Mandalorian was awful. So
Right,
I hope it hasn't. Let me see.
First of all, I want Captain Marvel. I want Captain Marvel to be set in the modern day. Like, no more prequels, please. No more. Yeah, have it set in the modern day with her doing up-to-date shit. The same way Captain America, after the first Avenger, was only doing stuff in the modern day. That's what I want with Captain Marvel now.
it's the screenwriter for
I'll be happy with that.
WandaVision.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I personally disagree with that one, Zam, for one reason. I don't want her being on Earth at all. I want her being out in space, just after Captain Marvel 1, in the middle of like some epic space wars and shit. I'd love to see that. In the modern day,
do we know when it's placed?
It's placed in the modern day.
So after Endgame.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, that's the thing, though. Wouldn't it be more interesting to know what she was doing between the Captain Marvel movie and what happened in Endgame? What was she doing?
I just want to see
there's like 30 years there.
I want to see
I want to see
talent
progression.
Well,
Unless
but the gap is too big, and we don't have any idea what happened in between. We just went from, oh, now I'm powerful to now I'm super powerful. But what happens in between? What was she doing all these years?
What happened with the Kree?
Yes, exactly. Like, what
And
do
the
I
Skrulls
care what
and all
happens
that.
after Endgame? This is not like the main on that. But she had a very big part to play in bringing Stark back. But we don't have any background on how come she was able to be there, or I don't know, some backstory to it. It's just they drop her in and then just see what happens later, but who cares what happened before? No, I don't like that. It's pretty much on the same level with problem that I have with Black Widow, when they give us a movie that should have been out 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
Just going back, my thought, like I also disagree with Zam. I kind of want I want to go, like, I want to see the war, because she even told what's his nuts from the Kree, like she said, I'm coming to end your war or whatever. I want to see what happened to the Skrulls. I want to see what happened to Captain Marvel and involving herself in the war with the Skrulls. Like, there's so much there that we could explore. And honestly, the reason why Captain America made sense to skip to the future is because he was done with that time period. Captain Marvel has a ton that she can still do in the 90s.
Dude, it was fucking Star-Lord who fucking destroyed.
But it doesn't have to be done on Earth at all. Like, I don't want any Earth. Like, maybe
we don't need Earth at all.
Yeah, no. So, and I mean,
Yeah,
I've already thrown my pitch out
regarding
there for Captain Marvel 2 and a way to involve Galactus. And I really feel like that if they want to make Captain Marvel like one of the mainstays in the MCU now, they need to really work, make that happen. And just going forward from Endgame is kind of like it's one thing to give us, it's the exact opposite argument of Black Widow. Like, Black Widow, Chris is right. We should have had this movie at the latest in early Phase 3 after Civil War, or I mean, even 10 years ago. That would have been fine too. The exact opposite argument is that we already know all we need to know about Captain Marvel, really, because she's all powerful at this point. Honestly, how do you nerf her at this point? So it's like, you know, like nerf her enough to make her interesting. It's the Superman conundrum. And I mean, I know you can make Superman interesting, but you know, that's kind of but I want to see while she's exploring her powers and why, you know, when she's fighting the Kree and she's learning more about herself. And, you know, like, I don't know. I just think it makes more sense to have it take place right after Captain Marvel 1 than it does to take place after Endgame. Yeah. And I may be totally wrong, but I don't know.
I just personally, I want progression in these stories now. We've already got a prequel in Black Widow. I just don't want any more of it. I want progression. I want the story to take us further. It could be set in outer space and fuck knows where. You know, she could bump into Galactus as well. I have no problem with that. But I want to keep the story going. You know, I want it to lead up to something eventually. That's what I'm getting used to now with these particular films. Obviously, keep it self-contained as well. But it's all part of a bigger picture now. I want this one to be too.
See, normally I'd be okay with that, but with this character in particular and where she came from or where she was, it's just there's way too much interesting stuff in terms of doing a prequel for this character than any other character. That's why I personally would like to see them go back. They're not going to, so it'll be interesting to see what they do with her now.
It'll be a second prequel though. It'll be like.
I know what you mean, but there's enough. Yeah. There's enough lore there for her to make it more interesting, unlike Black Widow.
Yeah, I agree.
But look, you know, at the end of the day, they're going to be doing it in modern times, so God knows what they're going to do with it. I'm sure it'll be by the numbers as all their films anyway. So wait and see.
Well, you can guarantee. I mean, even though you guys might want it a particular way, different to me. You can almost guarantee, though, that Marvel are most likely going to create it in a way which ties into other shit regardless. It's going to have an end credit scene for another fucking film and all of that.
But that's why my Captain Marvel 2, like my plot pitch for Captain Marvel 2 involves Galactus. It sets up Galactus as this true threat that actually, you know, wins in the end. And you know, and then 30 some years later, then, you know, it sets up Galactus for the next Avengers movie. I know. I mean, I know. I've told you guys about it before. You probably don't remember, but I mean, it's just like it's a good way to tie things. It's a smart way to tie things in together rather than just Black Widow it and throw it in there when we should have gotten it 5-10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Well, we should have got Black Widow film after Civil War.
Yeah, totally agree. All right, The Witcher. The Witcher is going to be.
Give me a second. I need to change the
banner. Damn it, woman!
There.
All right. So, The Witcher is going animated with an animated movie called, what's it? Call to the Wolves or Fuck the Wolves Up the Arse or something like that. Christine, all yours.
It should be called Toss a Coin to Your Witcher. That's what this show should be called.
Shut up. Well. You know, I'm not that much into animated shit, generally speaking, but I'll watch it. Let's be real now. Like, yeah.
You're not into animated shit? God, what's with you?
Oh.
See, I am, but not Disney shit. I just
no. Here's the problem I have with animated things. I have trouble translating an animation into what it would look like as a real person. Like, I'm okay with like if it's like CGI level 3D kind of thing. Like I don't remember an example right now, but cartoony and anime stuff, I don't know. It depends. Certain art styles I can tolerate. Well, we'll see how they do it, but I think it depends on what art style they use.
Well, have you seen the trailers for What If? Because that's got an amazing 3D art style. The Marvel What If, I mean.
Not sure.
We've seen the Matrix animated shorts. They're brilliant.
Have you seen The Last Unicorn animated? I mean, it's so good.
The fuck.
Is that
But anyway,
Well, I know,
motion
but
picture?
I've seen an animated version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that was porn.
oh really?
It was a cartoon first. Then it
Well, if
became
I had the
motion
link, that
picture.
was 10 years ago, man. And it was interesting because it was April fucking, I don't remember who, but he had a nunchuck stuck in her ass, and the other end of the nunchuck was swinging around as she was riding him. It was so funny. Yeah, it was like helicoptering on.
Now that's a fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle film worth seeing.
Yes.
God.
Right, so the reason they're going animated for this is more likely because there is a big gap between this and the next season, so they want to keep things white hot. So we'll likely get this. They probably already started on it, and they just announced it the other day.
I was just going to say, because it takes a while to do animation. That's why I was thinking, like...
Oh, well, if you get a lot of Koreans in a factory, you can knock one up in like a year. It
Oh
doesn't
my
take that long.
god.
How long is
Yes,
it until the next season?
That's sadly the sad truth. All the animations you see are just shipped off into Korea, and they have these big factories of animators in there. How do you think Family Guy and The Simpsons get made and all that shit?
I don't know.
That's how they get made.
Yeah, you
They're
know.
all animated in Korea. Like
Why don't Rick and Morty do the same so we can have more?
Rick and Morty do the same. Adult Swim do the same. They ship all their stuff off to Korea. It's
Then
up
why
to
do
the
they take
creators.
2 years for its season?
That's because the creators. Nothing to do with
No.
the. It's so popular that Adult Swim would probably have it running for a lot longer if they could.
But in the end of last season, they said that they had already 75 episodes written.
They had 75 episodes written.
No, they had
Written.
approved for 75 episodes. They might have had them written.
No,
Maybe-
they hadn't written.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know,
So
but
the
that's
animation that
they
takes
all ship off to
long.
Korea.
Well,
Yeah.
whatever.
So, yep, I'm looking forward to it. I love it. I love animation. I'm a huge animation whore. Again, not Disney, Pixar stuff. It's the same old boring shit.
I mean, I'm
Anything
okay
else,
with Pixar.
I'm up for it. Huh?
I'm okay with Pixar, funnily enough.
Oh,
Like, Despicable Me was Pixar, right?
say it again?
No, Despicable Me
Oh,
was
sorry.
DreamWorks.
No,
Well,
that's
whatever.
DreamWorks.
I liked that. I liked Inside
DreamWorks are good
Out. I liked
sometimes.
Monsters. I liked Ice Age. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all DreamWorks and Fox and things like that.
Well, yeah, I like those.
Which is
Yeah,
now owned by
it's not
Disney, so
Disney,
now
it's
you
good.
are praising Disney.
What's that?
I said now is owned by Disney, so she is now
Yeah, but
praising
they
Disney.
were not owned by Disney when they were made. So
Oh, well, that's
fuck
true.
off with that bullshit. I'm not
Disney
praising.
will own us all eventually.
Yeah,
Well,
we're gonna
not-
buy the screen tomorrow.
not if we kill them.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
all right. Moving on. So Hulu has cancelled more Marvel projects, and this one actually stings because I was actually really looking forward to these, like Tigress and is it Dazzler?
Yeah, Tigra and Dazzler.
Tiger and Dazzler and Modok and Hitmonkey still going forward, and Howard the Duck that has been cancelled.
Yes.
They've cancelled pretty much all the projects
Wow.
that Jeff Loeb was going to be doing, or Loeb Jr., or whoever the fuck he was, I forget, that hack. And so this is Kevin Feige basically flexing his cock muscle, and him and Loeb do not get on. They haven't got on since their days at Marvel Comics. So this is his big fuck you. Also his big fuck you to Ike Perlmutter as well, now that he's taken that position. So drama, disappointing drama. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Zam?
Well, like it's really disappointing because this, but it's also not surprising, if you know what I mean. Like this shit is just becoming a common occurrence now. All these lovely projects on the horizon, and then all these things get cancelled, and nothing comes from it. And it's just becoming I'm just fed up of it. Absolutely fed up with all of it. It's just pure disappointment coming from me right now. There's nothing more than that. I can't really delve more than that. You mentioned Kathleen Kennedy earlier as well. It's all the same fucking shit, and just to know that these things are not going to happen leaves a bit of taste in my mouth. We're going to get bollocks in return because what we want, we never get. We get something else instead, and it's what they want because they can't give us what. And they just initially tease us, and then they just take the fucking away from us, and they never go through with it.
Yeah, I totally agree, Jason.
I mean, really, in Fight We Trust, I don't disagree with you that this is disappointing. I mean, I kind of was looking forward to a lot of these animated comedy shows. I think they would have been good. I wasn't a fan of them doing the whole Offenders thing where it's like, oh, we're going to bring them together like the Defenders, but it'll be funny. It might have been good. I don't know.
But in a comedic sense, I think I would be well up for it. I mean, look at how amazing Harley Quinn has been.
Exactly. But then if you were building up Harley Quinn to like a animated crossover or an animated crossover with different people from that same universe of DC characters, I don't know, it'd just be too much. I'm kind of okay with them being their own thing. And I do agree. I mean, like Dazzler and Tigra. I mean, I didn't hear any concepts for that, so I didn't get too excited about it. Howard the Duck's always one that I think that can be really entertaining if they have the right people writing it. But looking to the future, I mean, Feige's just trying to get everything under one hat so there's less chaos. And I mean, Feige hardly delivers anything that's not at least quality. So, I mean, if he's deciding to cancel these, maybe he's got something better on the horizon, or maybe not. I don't know. I just, for me, it's just more of, hubba, 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 money, money, money. Who do you trust?
Yeah. Yeah. Christine?
What? Fuck if I care.
All right, fair enough. All right. Zam, moving on to your top 5 there. I think we're done.
No, we're not.
You're not?
What the fuck else is it?
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm fucking serious.
Well, let Chris talk about it. I mean, Jesus. I mean, it's right before
the
serious. How many of you guys watched it?
I have not. So I've watched the original.
Is any of you guys fans of the Jane Silent Bob movies?
I've seen them.
Yeah,
but they're not.
Put that on the side. Yeah, I saw Jane Silent Bob Reboot.
You did?
Yeah, I hated it.
So you watched it even though you knew you would hate it. I know you would hate it. Because I know you would hate it because you don't like Kevin Smith.
No, hang on. I don't like Kevin Smith post Clerks 3 when he started smoking too much weed and got sucked up his own arsehole. Ever since he's been doing heavy weed smoking, his work has plummeted from what it was. You know what I mean? I was a massive Kevin Smith fan up until that point. But after that, I just don't like it. But I still watched Jane Silent Bob Reboot in the hope that it would be good. And it fucking wasn't. It was awful.
It wasn't bad.
Having the daughter in there just completely ruined everything.
Why?
That's like Dumb and Dumber 2, right? Didn't Dumb and Dumber 2 do the same thing?
Like Mike Myers doing the fucking guru.
Well.
These guys have done their shtick. It's just shit now. Don't come back. You've done it. It's not going to be good this time around.
I enjoyed it.
I knew it was bollocks. I believe you, Jane.
Well, I enjoyed it. I think it was supposed to be kind of like an inside joke for whoever has watched all the fucking movies from before, in order to recognize everyone who was there, who was guilt tripped to be there.
But the problem is they're in every single one of his films every time. They keep popping up in some cameo. So having them pop up again in this, it was like, okay, there's Matt Damon and Ben Affleck again. Big fucking deal.
Well, it was a reboot. What did you expect?
Yeah, it just wasn't. I just didn't enjoy it.
I don't know. I laughed. I enjoyed it. It was it was silly. It was supposed to be silly.
Listen, that's what I expect from Kevin Smith. I don't expect
Yeah.
seriousness, but I just didn't like the premise with the daughter. I thought that just fucking annoyed me.
I mean, I'm okay with it. Like, okay, if he wants
Alright,
to do
fair enough.
something with his daughter, let him have at it. You know.
Well, it's Hollywood nepotism, so yeah. You know, I'm not devastated enough to like care that it sucked. I knew it was gonna suck. You know. But
it's not a movie that I would recommend. Oh yeah, go watch it. But like, if you are a fan of all the movies and you find them fun, well, you might find some nostalgia in it. You might find it stupid enough to laugh at it.
like Val Kilmer's cameo. What the fuck was that? Just him sitting there going, he did nothing. It was awful. And Melissa Benoist was in it as Blunt Girl. I think she was in this. Chronic.
No, Chronic.
She was Chronic in this. Sorry. Yeah, Blunt Girl or Chronic, whatever. Yeah. He was in this because obviously Kevin Smith directed some Supergirl episodes. So yeah, she showed up in this. Very wooden performance. Waste. It was, I don't know. Just for me, it was the premise was like funny, but just badly executed. And like I said, I was a huge Kevin Smith, like Zack and Miri Make a Porno. I fucking love that film. It's one of the only Seth Rogen films I actually like.
Which
and that's
one?
written and directed by Kevin Smith. And that's a great film.
Which one?
What? Zack and Miri Make a Porno.
Oh, I haven't watched that one.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Well, I like Seth Rogen. I like stoner movies, man.
This one's not a stoner film. It's just a great film. Just watch it. It's got Elizabeth Banks in it. It's got the black dude with the afro from The Office. I forget his name.
From The Office.
Yeah.
That.
Well, he's in it. You'll know him when you see his face. He's great in it. It's also got the other guy from Clerks, Randall. He's in it.
Yeah.
It's got obviously Jay, who's fantastic. It's just a really good cast, a really good film. I recommend Zack and Miri Make a Porno. It was the last good thing he ever did.
Okay, from all the Kevin Smith movies, which one is your favorite?
That one.
I mean, okay, from the Jay and Silent Bob.
Oh,
ones.
Clerks too.
Clerks is awesome, man.
Yeah.
You're awesome.
I
They
don't
are
know.
brilliant. That's the level you need to expect from Kevin Smith, and he doesn't deliver that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I liked. I don't know. I think
No worries,
I liked
bastard.
the first Clerks a lot.
No, I love
37 takes,
I
man.
love Morat. I absolutely love with a huge passion Chasing Amy.
Oh
It's a-
yeah, I love it too.
Fucking great film. And it was a very somber film in comparison, but it was brilliant. I didn't Dogma. I was meh. It was okay. It was a lot of funny bits in it, and that. I liked Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, Clerks 2, Zack and Miri. That other one he did with Liv Tyler in it as well. That was a sweet film. So I liked his stuff. I was a huge Kevin Smith fan, but after he got on the heavy on the weed, just nah.
He got vegan too.
Yeah, all that. It just sucked the
But
life out
hey,
of him.
at least there was a Stan Lee cameo at the end, and that was pretty.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Like okay, we can say whatever we want about Kevin Smith, but he's very his love for Stan Lee is like on another level.
yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
Cool. All right.
yeah.
Move on.
All
Top
right,
five.
we can go to Zam's top 5.
All right, guys. Well, I got to bugger off. I got people coming over. So,
All right, Jason.
but good luck
Okay,
with the top
Trevor.
five.
Yeah. catch you
Then you're
later.
gonna miss this one, Jason. You'd have loved it.
Well, what is it?
Top 5 Steven Spielberg directed movies.
Eh.
Fair enough.
Get him off. Get him off the stream.
Bye bye.
Ah!
Fucking jerk.
Now, I personally look at Steven Spielberg as one of the greatest directors and filmmakers of all fucking time. I put him up with some of the legendary ones.
Wait, no, he is the greatest of all time.
Yeah, fair enough. Like people look at fondly at certain filmmakers from the past, like Hitchcock, and some of the stuff they've created. Stanley Kubrick, as well, being another one, and Spielberg. Some of the way he can get a film which is just for everybody and still be fantastic. He's just great at that. So here we're going to go with the top 5. First one is a family movie. It is the family movie, in my opinion. It is E.T. the Extraterrestrial. This film came out in 1982, and it's just about this young guy, this kid who finds an alien, and they have a bond. A bond more than just a friendship bond. It becomes like a sort of like they rely on each other bond. They live off each other sort of shit. But the government are involved, and so many films copied this premises after this movie. But this film does it best. Usually the film that does it first does it best. E.T. was it. What do you think of E.T., Ginge?
Well, first of all, Mac and Me was way better.
No, fuck. Get lost. Get the hell out of here. You fuck off, mate. You fuck off. You get the fuck out of here with a commercial. That's
What do you know what I love about Mac and Me? Is one, it's a Coke commercial, and two, Paul Rudd kept using it to troll.
Yes.
Conan O'Brien.
Conan O'Brien. Yeah.
Okay, now listen. E.T. is one of those films. Like, if you ask my mom, she'll tell you the films that I kept playing over and over again on video were E.T. and Star Wars. I love E.T. I still love it to this day. It's fantastic. It's very even for a family film or a kids film and that, it's very harsh. I didn't like what they did with the remastered version. I thought that was disgusting. But the original, just what's not to say about it? An alien. Every kid's fantasy back then was, go see aliens and be my friends and give me a good probing and all of that. Or that might just be me. But yeah, I love it.
Okay, first of all, I think what you were saying about the living of each other, I believe we call that symbiosis.
Sorry. Fair enough. Thank you. All right, what do you think of the fucking film?
I liked it when I was a kid. I don't know if it aged well because I haven't watched it in 25 years, but it's a good fucking movie overall. I don't think anyone can deny E.T. being a good movie. Yeah, a family movie, of course.
I cried like a fucking bitch when E.T. got on that ship and had to leave. I cried so much. And so many films follow that premises of that heartbreak ending as well, like that, that bittersweet ending where he had to leave. Oh man, oh god, that ending kills me, man. And you know what? I'm so glad after all this time. It's been almost 40 years. 2 years' time, that film will be 40 years old. And still to this day, they haven't tarnished that movie's legacy with a fucking sequel. All right, on to number 4.
Wait. I'm not done. Yeah. Though this movie came with something else, though. And that was the worst video game of all time.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, that only affected the North American market.
I don't know about that game, but I'm glad if it's that bad, I'm glad I don't know about
but
it.
It's something significant that should be, pointed out. That the movie was exceptional. The video game, not so much.
But the game came out 4 years later.
Yeah.
So that was quite funny.
Anyway,
moving on.
On to number 4. Now, this film spawned many sequels, but the first one is the best. It is Jurassic Park. This film is legendary. When I saw this film in the cinema, I was blown away. And I think what makes this film so great in so many people's minds is that we weren't spoiled with all the best bits in fucking trailers. The trailers were very discreet in what they were showing us. And when you got into that film and you saw that film, you saw everything you needed to see in the movie. It was great. I was blown away. The adventures, it was fantastic. Spielberg in a nutshell. This is Spielberg at his fucking best. Yeah, Jurassic Park. Christine, what do you think of the movie?
Well, it's been some time since I watched it. It's a good movie. Funnily enough, the thing I remember the most about this movie, it was the giant poo. But yeah,
Of course, you'd remember something like that.
good movie. But generally speaking, it's not the type of movie that I would generally watch, and that's why I've only watched the first one. I've not watched any of the sequels or whatever else. But overall, I liked it. I mean, the premise was like interesting. Like, yeah, who would be stupid enough to do that, right? Oh, look, we did it. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, that.
That.
James, before I pass it on to you, Jim, I just want to say that I was still a young guy at the time when that film came out, and Sam Neill. I could only the previous time of me seeing Sam Neill in films was seeing him in the Third Omen movie where he played Damien Thorne, and
Oh, yeah.
I just thought of him as the fucking devil. I just never thought of him as anything else but Satan. And I'm so glad Jurassic Park came out and he played a hero, a really good person. Because until then I just thought he was fucking Satan personified, but I was young and stupid then. On you, Ginge.
It's the only Jurassic Park film I've ever enjoyed. I absolutely loved it when it first came out. I was just blown away. I was just fascinated. I watched so many making ofs after this film came out because I was avoiding spoilers before that, and the makings of blew me away just as much as the film did. And yeah, definitely. Not much else to say. It was amazing.
On to number 3. Number 3 is the film that put Spielberg on the map. Now, the film that he first did was called Duel, and that's giving that one an honorable mention. It's not in my top 5. But the film that put him on the map was Jaws. And this film is fucking brilliant. I can still watch this film to this day and just still be engrossed in it. It's just fascinating. Everything about this film, killer shark, such a simple premises, but done so well with Spielberg's fucking touch. Scary as hell. He thought the shark didn't look realistic enough. It looked realistic to me when it was on the boat before it, Robert Shaw. That same shark earlier in the film ate a kid, and when that was a significant part of the film because it showed that there is no bias in this movie. Kids can fucking die in this film and be eaten and killed in a horrific way. And that left so much suspense that anybody's on the fucking on the table for this shark when it comes to being killed. Love this film, excellent movie. What do you guys think of Jaws? I'll start with you, Ginge.
Yeah, absolutely loved it. I remember, obviously, I wasn't born when it first came out, but I remember seeing it on TV, completely uncut, and absolutely loved it. That was at the era when I was a huge fan of horrors, and nothing else to say. The suspense with that music was just amazing. Amazing. You're like, oh fuck, what's gonna happen now? And you're like a kid, you're like, get out of the fucking water, and then half of you are like, no, fucking eat them, they're idiots. And fantastic film. The rewatch value on that is excellent. I actually enjoyed. I was young at the time. I haven't rewatched them, but the first 3 films, I enjoyed them all. Probably if I watch them now, I'll be like, oh my god, these are terrible. But the first one definitely I've seen recently, and that one is still fucking awesome. So yeah.
Before I go on to ask you, Chris, I just want to say that the ending of Jaws, I mean, that film was great right to the end. Like, what's his face? Character is on a sinking ship. I mean, once it gets into the water, he's done, and he's there holding his gun, trying to shoot that fucking tank in that shark's mouth before he's submerged in the water. Fantastic way to end the film. What a brilliant movie, Chris. What would you like to say about Jaws?
Haven't watched it.
You not watched Jaws?
Jaws?
It does not interest me one bit.
It's a brilliant film, Chris. Chris, you would like
this.
Moving on.
But I don't like shark movies.
Okay, fair enough. Moving on.
All right. Okay, number 2. This film is not your stereotypical Spielberg film, but he has done non-stereotypical films like The Color Purple. But this film really showed him as a filmmaker of a variety of different calibers, and that was Schindler's List. This film is disturbing. It's it's grim, but it's also hopeful at times. You know, somebody who was a Nazi who went out of his way to save so many people. It's quite remarkable when you see this story, and it's shot in black and white as well. It left an impression on me. I don't know about you guys. What do you think of the film? Liam Neeson, by the way, fantastic in that movie. I mean, this film really made him a household name as well, like a leading man actor. Before he was always like a supporting role. I'm so happy he got this role. You know, what do you guys think of the movie Schindler's List? I'll start with you, Chris.
What's there to say? It's one of of these movies that are, the must-watch movies in cinema history. Of course, it's heavy shit, but if I had to make a list of the top 10 movies that every person on earth must watch, it would be them, and pretty high up probably.
Mm-hmm.
It's a true story, and it doesn't. This film doesn't pull its punches. Like, these people are being put on a train to get fucking killed, to get gas killed.
Yeah.
It doesn't fuck around. I mean, just because they're fucking Jewish, it is crazy.
And this is
when you look at
why.
it from that
This is
perspective.
why.
Really look at it. No film has really shown it to you like that. Like, just like they're like cattle. You know. James, what would you like to say about Schindler's List?
I mean, this is why it's a must watch, because it's
just
real. Go ahead.
Mind-blowingly good film. Yeah, just brutal. I love a war film that just doesn't hide brutality of war, and this is right up there. It was one of definitely Spielberg's one of his best. One of the best films. Yeah, like Christine says, it's a must-watch. It was just fucking fantastic. I watched it. I was in tears when I watched it. It was really heartbreaking, but it was both beautiful at the same time. Just what a brilliant film. Excellent cast as well. Yeah, like I say, Liam Neeson really came out there. I think that wasn't the film that made his career. That was Michael Collins that kind of brought him into the limelight. But this just kind of catapulted him.
This catapulted him, dude.
Yeah,
It's
catapulted into the stratosphere. I fucking love this film so much.
Now, before I go to number one, I just want to give some honorable mentions to a whole bunch of films that could have been in this top 5, like Catch Me If You Can, Munich, another great film, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
The Color Purple, Temple of Doom, Last Crusade. There's probably a couple of films that
Minority Report.
Sorry?
Minority Report.
Minority Report, yeah. It hasn't dated well. There's issues with Minority Report. Well, I'll talk about that another day.
Well,
but
yeah.
Number one for me is one of my favorite movies of all fucking time. I mean, this is like if somebody said to me, Zam, what's your favorite film? This would be number 1, number 2 of all time. It's Raiders of the Lost Ark. I love this fucking film. This is the film that made me want to be Indiana Jones. I want to be this fucking guy. I've been in fucking fancy dresses him twice. You know, that's how much I love this character and I love this fucking film. This film is amazing. From the very beginning of this film, you know you're dealing with a fucking badass and a smart badass as that, because he's a doctorate. He's just as dangerous as he is intelligent, but he's also a good person too. And you see at the beginning of the movie trying to get that idol and shit. What a way to start a film. What film fucking starts like that? Amazing. I mean, that beginning of that movie influenced so much shit in video games and in other media and forms, you know, when it comes to like Tomb Raider and Uncharted and all of that sort of stuff. It comes from shit like this. Obviously, Indiana Jones was influenced by Alan Quatermain, but fuck me, man. When you look at it on the screen now, this film defines the adventure and searching for hidden treasure sort of movie, and the cliffhanger endings and the the long shot fucking scenarios and the craziness and getting really lucky and just not dying and stuff like that. This film encompasses all of that: the adventures, the scenarios, the pitfalls, the Nazis. Fuck it. Oh, brilliant movie, man. Harrison Ford is on top form in this film. So many great scenes in this movie. What do you guys think of Raiders of the Lost Ark? I'll start with you, Chris.
You'll hate me.
We hate you anyway.
You've not seen this movie?
Well, I don't like Indiana Jones.
What
I'm
the fuck's
not
wrong with you,
interested
man?
in the movies.
You don't like Indiana
don't.
Jones? Yeah, he's a great character.
Oh, yeah, that's like your opinion, man.
He's what Alan Quatermain wishes he could be. You know what I mean?
Who gives a fuck about that other guy anyway? I don't care.
All right. I'll move on from you because you're a disgrace, Chris. Ginger, on you, mate.
Oh yeah, fucking Struth, mate. Fucking Christ. What a fucking film. I loved it. Yeah, absolutely love Indiana Jones. The first one and the third one are up there among my top 100 favorite films of all time. I despise the sequel with a passion. But Raiders of the Lost Ark is just an excellent film. And what I loved about it is like Indy's like a flawed character. He's not perfect. He's not this muscle chiseled fucking brimming out with like, he gets whacked by a mirror at one point and he's fucking crying, and he's getting there to kiss it better kind of thing. That kind of depth to the character I just really liked. I love the film so much. I love the adventures. That film really got me into like rope swinging and tree climbing, all that kind of crazy shit.
Yeah, exactly.
And back in my garden, we used to have this massive oak tree, and we got a rope around it. It was all inspired by Indiana Jones and treasure hunting and all that kind of shit. And yeah, this film really did like it set so many cultural tones for so many games. It honestly doesn't get the credit it deserves, and it definitely deserves to be up there as one of Spielberg's best films.
Yeah, it's my top 5 of all the films he's directed. He's been involved in so many movies, by the way. I'm not sure. Did he direct The Goonies? I'm not sure. Or he just produced it.
I think Zemeckis did The Goonies.
Yeah, because Robert Zemeckis also directed Back to the Future. But he's involved in so much. When it came to the films he directed, these are the ones. These are my favorite ones. I do think he's lost his edge, unfortunately. I do think his magic has gone. The most recent Indiana Jones film was absolutely atrocious, and Ready Player One was good in bits, but not good all the way, unfortunately. But there were moments where you felt Spielberg magic. But I think maybe he should stick to more grounded films. Do more stuff like Munich, Schindler's List, Catch Me If You Can, Color Purple. Do films like that. You don't need to do all these fucking blockbusters anymore. You're a great filmmaker. You can do anything.
Yeah, I think. Look, eventually everyone kind of loses their premise, or they can't kind of change their ways, which modern cinema's obviously evolved to something a bit more different, and Spielberg stuff still, I don't know, it hasn't adapted. So his latest work has been a little bit hollow. Even like Bridge of Spies, which I really like. Wasn't like great, could have had a bit more to it, but listen, he can do whatever he wants. He's got carte blanche, just whatever he wants to fucking do. He's earned it. Did
you know he directed the fight scenes in Revenge of the Sith?
Did he?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Look into that. Google that.
Yeah, we'll do. The flying or the lightsabers?
I think definitely I think for sure the Anakin Obi-Wan fight.
Okay. I'll look into that. Well, all right, let's end the show anyway because we've gone on long enough.
Okay, it's been fun, guys. Yeah. I'll see you guys next week. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Have a good one.